They usually give you 3 different prices, bottom price, but they're fine on the top of the plan.
Hi. Can you guys hear us? Daniel, you're muted.
I can hear you, Dana.
Hey, Matt.
Hey,
How
Dana.
you doing? I can't see you.
Yeah, I'm coming. There we go.
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Beautiful weather in Florida.
Yep. Can't beat it.
Yeah.
We were at the beach yesterday and actually found it to be a little bit too chilly, giving the wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles an hour. So
Right.
we came back home and it's still a beautiful 60, but it's calm. So it's just a gorgeous evening. We've grown thin skins. So Bronwyn, how's the forest coming? Are you there or are you frozen?
Bronwyn, you're also muted. Maybe she's
That looks like a profile picture. It's got cinder block wall behind her, like she's at school.
Yeah.
She's learning tricks from her students.
So Dan, I was watching a news coverage earlier or listening to news coverage earlier about the issue down in the DC today. And the last I heard was that one of the 2 police officers had passed that had been hit by the vehicle, but I had not heard anything more about the theory on the individual and how the other officer is doing.
Yeah, so the other officer is in stable condition now, so that's good. A little bit better off than he initially was. And the guy who did the attack they're doing the research on him now, but he's somebody who's had a real struggle in the last escalating trouble in the last month, and he thinks somebody in Congress is following him or tracking him or
Responsible for his woes in some fashion.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so they're reading up on his social media
Right.
contributions and stuff, try to get a story behind that. Still coming together. Sad business.
Bronwyn, are you there?
I think she started the show and ran away so she could get some ice cream or something.
There you go. That would be good.
So you guys said the weather is nice in Florida. It was nice here for a couple of days last week, and then this week has gradually gotten rainy and cold. Now it's not rainy anymore, but it's chilly. Hi, Holly.
Hi.
Hey, Holly.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
What's the good news? No good news.
Not much news. We what are we doing? We are
Just hanging out.
hanging out. We have a race tomorrow. So we're gonna be racing, which will be fun. Race we haven't done before.
Where?
In Tampa Bay. It's a
Will it be
fundraiser
rough?
for what?
Will it be wild weather-wise? Wind
I think that
It could be.
it could be. There's gonna be I think like 12 to 15 and then gusts maybe to 20 something. So yeah, it could be Hooli opportunities.
Uh-huh.
And
Well,
it's
it's definitely whipped up here.
yeah, it did last night. It woke me up at about 3 o'clock. It was about 35-mile-an-hour gusts here. Yeah, but it's going to be a little calmer than that, fortunately.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. And but Joseph's racing with somebody he's raced with a few times now. They've been winning, which is good. The guy's about, I guess he's 68,
Yeah,
69. They're kind of like the
Yeah.
same physique,
we're beating the old guys.
beating the old guys and some of the young guys. And I'm racing with a woman I've never raced with before. We've only got out twice this week, so we'll see how we do.
Right.
She usually races with a big guy who's a friend of ours who just broke his foot. So I'm going to be racing with her.
I thought I heard a story in the last 48 hours about a crew team that ended up capsizing, and was that Rutgers or was that, what did I miss?
No,
that?
it was
I think it
out,
was Iowa.
out
Iowa.
cold water, more,
Ugh.
Thanks.
it sounds like they had no business being on the water.
How do you capsize in a crew boat?
It was a quad, Daniel, with a coxswain, and they the wind was whipping up and they had waves on the lake they were on, and they capsized and the water was cold. 2 of the rowers drowned. Very
I bet.
sad.
Oh, that's sad.
I bet.
Yep. It was rough
Hard to get
enough
out
that
of, hard to
they
get out of
didn't-
stretchers.
they didn't find them right away. It was rough enough, they didn't find them right away, so.
I just don't understand how you capsize. I mean, you literally have to have your oars come out of the oar locks or something.
They swamped.
Oh,
I think they swamped. I think there was wind and wave.
okay.
And
Like
the
they
thing I
shouldn't be,
read,
right?
and the water was cold. It's a killer,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and they were
Great.
tied in. I mean, the boats are sort of designed not to have to get out of.
Right.
And so they tie you in and you're literally manacled to your boat.
They could have had pogies on, right?
What is
Certainly
that?
tied in by their shoes, but typically, you know, you can pop out of your shoes.
Well, you'd have to
What was that
think,
other word you said?
They're just kind of like mittens that have open, so you can hold the oar with your open hand, but they cover the rest of your hand. They call them pogies.
Pogies.
That's really sad.
They actually wrap around the oar and you put your hand into it.
I've never
I
done
think.
that.
I've never used them either, Dan, but I've
So,
seen them.
Is this a school team?
Yeah. And I don't think it was college level.
Hmm.
Oh, that's really sad.
Very sad.
Like your
Yeah.
hair, Bronwyn.
Yeah, look, she's all cut down.
Can you hear me?
Hi.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay.
Now we can.
Yeah. Sorry. Before I realized that, yeah, it's all greasy from doing more tree planting. But yeah, I donated it 10 inches to Lots of Love, and you know it was supposed to be about here, and then by the time she was done, it was here. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Nobody's. It'll grow back.
So
Right.
will.
But yeah, it's a little short. But
Great.
it's so
Nice.
nice not to have the tangles and gosh, my showers are so quick now. Now I know how Matt gets in and out of the shower like that. And to deal with all the hair.
Makes a difference. Even I'm just dying to get 4 inches off of mine if I could figure out how to whack it in a straight line.
Morgan has a great video for you to cut your own hair, Holly.
I know, but she never forwarded it to me.
Oh, well.
She said she would. She
Over
did
here.
not, and I have seen some on YouTube, but I've never been successful.
Hey, Matt,
Now we can see it.
I know.
how you doing?
Good.
Where's the other cat? Did he go away?
I don't know. He's gone.
He froze, so I think he's just reconnecting probably.
Hmm.
Like Dan's beer. We got a
Little beer
Yeah.
competition?
Got a little competition going there, bud.
Joseph.
There you go.
I'm
Little gray
Joseph.
whiskers.
All these gray beards.
All the David Davies wannabes.
That's right. That's right. Oh. Well,
So you guys are planting trees. How many you got in now?
Do you count the ones we had to replant?
Uh-oh.
Well, these little pine trees have these little root systems that just weren't in good enough, so we had to go back, replant 400. So if you add those in, but
yesterday, 200 yesterday, and 200 today. We've replanted them. Oh my gosh.
So is the pine tree idea for Christmas trees or just for ground cover?
windbreak primarily, and also kind of a screen from a couple of neighbors, but
The
What
pine
kind
trees will
of
jump up.
pine
I mean,
trees?
You know, they'll pop up in a hurry.
yeah.
What kind of pine tree? The native pine tree?
Well, the white pine and then the Norway spruce.
Hmm,
And we will ship Christmas trees if you want to buy them, but they won't be ready for a few years.
right.
But we have 4,500 hardwoods in the ground all day Tuesday. It was, and a couple other days, it was a slog. But we did it. He did it.
So
we-
how many do you have planted?
So how many altogether?
4,500.
Well, no, but plus the green one, so.
Wow.
Oh, that includes. Yeah,
Wow, that's a forest.
Ah,
It's a lot.
And all natural irrigation, right? You're just counting on rain.
Yeah, so we're hoping for 80% survival rate with, deer and whatever else weather, but
Right. Good.
we planted and we got a hailstorm the next,
Hi,
or
Mel.
2 days later, so. Hi Melody, hi Matthew.
We're back.
You all have beards.
That's
Gray
right.
beards.
Most of us have seen, like we got some wine. Oh, maybe Kim, is that tea, wine, vodka?
Cocoa.
Oh, hot
Cocoa.
cocoa, even better. There you go.
Good.
Mel's got her wine. There we go. Yes. We've got our Cleveland Indians. We watched,
Cleveland baseball team.
oh, sorry, it's not the Indians. anymore.
Right. Yeah, you got to be socially correct there.
That's right.
So what are they called now?
They don't have a new name yet. We're
Oh.
still waiting on that. So as of now, it's a Cleveland baseball team.
There's the non-Redskins Washington
Oh, there
logo.
you go.
There you go, yeah.
Wow.
We watched-
did
we watched Major League.
Everybody but a couple teams played yesterday, didn't they?
Well, Washington didn't because we had 3
Right.
people come down with.
COVID, right. But they were the only two, that was the only game that didn't go on, right? All the rest played a first game.
Detroit played in the snow. Cabrera got a home run and he didn't even know it. Couldn't see the ball.
Oh, my goodness.
It was great. First home run of the season. Couldn't see the ball.
Huh?
They slid into second thinking it was a double.
Wow.
Weather.
Ha, ha, ha.
Well, Maria got to go to her grandparents for a sleepover for the first time in a month or two, and she's ecstatic. She couldn't wait to get away from mom and dad.
Well, can you blame her?
No, we're happy to have a little break, but she's going back to school on Tuesday. It's official. She's going to be in person 4 days a week. So
Wow.
so we're all, it's the new yet another beginning next week. It's going to be like the third first day of school that we've had
Really?
in the last year, or the fourth first day of school. So lots of changes, but we're excited. Just get through to May.
So this is the fourth in-person start of school for her?
Well, it's the fourth kind of restart. We've had these, 2 days
Right.
back and 4, yes.
Right.
So
Right,
she
right.
hasn't been in person yet. Some kids have twice a week. So now we're moving everybody to 4 days a week, and she's gonna do it. We're
Cool.
fully vaccinated and feeling okay about the whole situation. So we're knock on wood. She'll get a couple months of normal school before next year, and then she's going to be in a brand new school building. We're building, so she's going to start 5th grade in a whole new world.
Right. Cool.
So yeah, excited.
There'll be 2 new schools in 2 years, right?
Yes, yeah.
That sounds like us going to Ecuador, and
Yeah.
every year we were in a different school.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so in DC before we went, we were in Shepherd Elementary. And we get to Ecuador and we spend the first 6 months in Alliance Academy, and then Cardinal Spellman, and then not Alliance Academy, Colegio Americano,
Right.
then Spellman, then Alliance Academy, and then come back to DC and you're in another school. So it's like 5 schools in 2.5 years.
Right.
Crazy.
It is crazy. Made you very well-rounded.
Yeah, apparently. Very round, very round.
But
Well-
then you were pretty much steady, right?
No.
Yeah, because
No.
once we got to junior high school, I stayed in the same junior high school and the same high school. Dana had some more adventures.
I think I went to 11 or 12 schools by the time I graduated in 11th grade. And I think the biggest casualty of that for me in terms of my K-12 education was the math curriculum. Because every school, every district does it differently and kind of on a slightly different timetable. I think it's very tough to do that when that's happening. I mean, I think some people, we were from a reading family, very strong in reading. Dad was always reading to us. There were always a lot of books. But I think in terms of math curricula, I think we all probably suffered as a result of moving around that much.
Yeah, actually.
It did not compute.
So
Yeah.
Dana,
I
Still
certainly
doesn't.
wasn't interested in numbers.
There's Sarah. She made it. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Hey, hey.
Hey, Sarah. Hi.
How are you feeling, Sarah?
About what?
After your shot, how did you feel after your vaccine?
I got a slight headache that night. That was it.
Wow, great.
That's good. I mean,
I don't know.
That is good.
Did you ask Dan and Kim? They're the ones that got it this past Sunday. I think they got.
Yep,
I
that
think they
was your
got the
first
same
or your second?
we got the J&J, so it's one and done.
one only. It
Oh,
was the
one
only-
good.
Yep.
David and Jill did theirs today.
All right.
A double or the single?
J&J.
JJ? Oh, good.
Morgan did her second Pfizer on Monday, and I think she had a pretty rough reaction.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
She
really?
had a
Oh,
fever and chills and felt pretty lousy the next day. Fortunately, she was off. She was scheduled off. We're going for our second on Wednesday.
And
Well,
yours is Moderna, right, Dana?
No, Pfizer.
Oh, yours is Pfizer too. Okay.
Yeah.
so Dana, how is Morgan now that the days have gone by?
I think she's fine. I think she's fine. I think she's very relieved that she did it. She's running into, I think there's about 15 or 20 people in the company who are regularly in and out of that building. And some of them are in their 20s, I think, and saying they're not going to get vaccinated. And I think it's got her concerned because the variant is growing there as it is here, particularly the one that is impacting more young people. So I think she was very glad to do it and get it done.
Was that her only option, Dana?
I don't know. I'm assuming that it was, but I don't know that.
What was the question?
What, whether
that her
you had
only
an
option?
option? We had 9 places, mine was 9 places, and you could pick the place that had the kind of shot you wanted.
Oh, well,
And mine was the only one that offered the J&J at the time.
right.
Not the case anymore.
No, it changes by the day, by the week. And at this point, it's like,
Right, right.
In Maryland, you can only choose the site. You don't choose, they don't tell you what the vaccine is till you've booked the appointment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dana, Kim, you felt good, you said? You didn't have any issues? Right?
No,
And-
just my normal allergy tiredness and stuff, but that's standard for spring.
Right, oh dear. How about Sam and Ash? Have they had a chance to get one?
Sam has, Ashley just pre-registered today because they opened up pre-registration in Maryland to everybody 16 and older, but they aren't going to open up vaccination for those under 60 until possibly May 1st. She's hoping they'll bump that back. But she's registered, so she should get the text when she's, as soon as she's eligible.
Right. My mom and Louis, her husband, finally got their first shot today. I've been hounding her. She was very, well, whatever about it. And, Louis is going to the hospital all the time for tests and stuff. And I just couldn't believe. So I think finally the VA or VW, what is it? His veterans group.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
VA, right, got him a slot and her a slot. So I was happy about that because I'd like to move forward with maybe getting her here in the next couple months. So I can hound her in person about taking care of
Whatever.
herself, right?
Whatever.
Right. Sarah, I was thinking about you today when we were replanting the trees over by the horses. And I was trying to get them to come over to me, and they did, and then they totally spooked, and they, like these 6 huge Clydesdales are pounding the earth and running away from me and doing, I don't know whether they were having fun or if I scared them, and then they came back, they did it again. So I was like, oh, Sarah would not be happy with me. My lack of
They're
horse
entertaining.
skills.
Springtime, they're all jacked up, ready to get out and run around.
Are they okay?
They didn't
bad.
recognize you with your new haircut.
That's right. That's right. Then our dogs barked because I was petting one of them. They got jealous. Aria got jealous, but what are you gonna do? We sorry I didn't get to start with the meeting because we had a guy here looking at our windows, get a couple replaced, like Dad's windows, and $10,000 for 4 windows. I mean, there's no way. I mean, is that normal? That doesn't seem normal to me. That seems
No.
ridiculous. I mean,
What
I can't-
company? What company are you asking?
this is Anderson or Renewal by Anderson, kind of like Pella.
They're a
They're
little
the most
pricey.
expensive ones.
Yeah,
A little pricey.
and they do, I guess they're the only ones around here that do the wood, deal with the wood, I guess.
They
That's not
quoted
true.
us 36,000 to replace the windows in our house 2 years ago.
How many is that?
I think it was 14.
You said
we saw-
36,000?
Yeah, and the guy says, he says, well, since I'm here, I can cut you a deal. I can give you another $50 off each window. And we said, in whose universe?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, we went through that in Haddonfield in that old frame house, and I think the estimate we got was more than the cost of the house.
It's
And
ridiculous.
it was, we had these old windows, and you could actually, you could see the glass changing because the house was so old, right? So you could see it. It was very, very charming, of course, except that, it was old wooden frames, and some of them had chain to lift, but many of them had cotton ropes. And the ropes
Right.
had broken, and the weights were all in the basement, right? So we ended up just having them re-hung with chain. Rather than, we went and tried to, make an argument for not doing the wood Anderson windows at the Architectural Hysterical Improvement Committee of Haddonfield. And the woman there, one of the architects there told me that I should feel honored to live in Haddonfield, at which point I lost my temper. Joseph was standing next to me going, Dana. But that was it. We I don't know, do you remember what the estimate was to get our windows done? I mean, it was just outrageous. So we had gone and actually found another company, and I think they were wood-clad aluminum or wood-clad vinyl or something.
Aluminum clad. wood.
Vinyl.
They're wood, but they're wood with aluminum facing.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they wouldn't accept that because it was in the historical part of, and we're right next to the railroad tracks. How historical. The railroad tracks that you'll remember our father was involved in getting approved Patco through Haddonfield. And he had some kind of similar fights, if you'll remember. I mean, one of the fights I think they had was that the train line had to be subterranean at certain points through town. That was one of the battles that they fought. But anyway.
But that train tracks was there when we lived there.
The train was, I don't know about Patco though.
I don't know. We had trains through there all the time.
Yeah, the train line dates back to like the 1800s.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to go down to the bottom of the hill and skate over, hop over there, probably without mom and dad knowing that we did that,
Right,
into the woods on the other side.
Right.
right.
And then we had a crossing right there where you turn to go up to the school, to the public
Right.
school, which is where we would walk from Mountwell, to that crossing and over to the school.
Right.
And
Well,
was
the crossing is now a bridge.
And
And
the-
they
right.
dug it, they sunk both the train track and the Patco line when they put in the Patco commuter line.
So when you would walk across that, it was just a crossing, it wasn't a bridge,
That's
Right.
correct.
right? So they sunk it there.
Mm.
I don't know if you remember, you came to the house in Haddonfield, Holly, you might remember, it was right in front of the house.
Right. Yeah, it was right in front. And I
Anyway,
walked
so-
over to the Mountwell house and the Summit, West Summit.
Right,
I couldn't figure out which duplex it was, though. I couldn't remember the number of ours.
so yeah, windows are ridiculous.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Good business to be in.
Yeah, the guy tried to tell us, well, if you go with it right now, it'll save $200, kind of like what Kim was saying. You're like, oh, okay, thanks. Bye. Oh, man. Crazy.
So you're getting them replaced just because you want them replaced just because they're leaky, air is leaking in, or they're not very weather,
Yeah.
keeping the weather out?
Yeah, and they're just that they're past their prime. The main one for me is the one above, the one in the kitchen above the sink. You all remember how
Yeah.
cloudy? I mean, the cloudiness is just
Right.
it's so bad that there's no point in even putting up the blinds anymore. Or you putting them up because you can't even see anything.
I think when your windows whistle, it's a good sign. That you're probably-
Right.
That's what Dad's windows whistle.
Yeah,
But for 10 grand, we can live with it.
Well, we got
So,
another quote for 4,500. So
Right.
there's a disconnect. And they're both Anderson windows, so not really sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
you should have told us. He said,
Well, if you plant a whole lot of trees and they block the
Wind break.
wind, then the windows
Right.
won't whistle.
There you go. See, honey? That's just the kitchen.
That's a lot of trees. That's amazing. I can't believe
Tell
it.
us about
Yeah.
it.
So did you,
Renewal by-
did
Renewal
you
by
like
Anderson is a.
switch
is
them
a-
up? I'm sorry, Dan, I moved on.
Go ahead.
Did you like, switch up the trees? I mean, so like they're kind of like dispersed all differently?
Yeah, that was the goal, to take 9 species and kind of randomize them as much as you can. But the problem is you have the red oak with a, a root system that's, 18 or 12 inches. And then you have like a shagbark hickory that's like this. And you can't change the depth of the tree planter. So it's one depth with different roots. So it was a little tricky. We tried to change it up a little bit, but yeah, that was the idea, to make it random.
I would have never have guessed. I mean, just doing the reaching down, pulling the tree out, dipping it in the slurry, reaching back down into the earth, then turning back to make sure that it didn't get run over by the wheels that close the earth. And I mean, just doing that how many times? 2,000? More than 2,000? Oh my gosh. It was intense.
You mean you didn't get to drive the tractor instead?
No. Thank goodness for Matt's dad, Dennis. He was the tractor guy. And but as you all know, there's always unforeseen things, like the tractor hitch and the tree planter didn't work together. So we had to go buy a part. And then the wheel of the tree planter was flat. And then we had to go get that part. It's just, oh man.
I don't know whose idea it was, but
Yeah.
It's just a huge number of trees.
Yeah.
Huge number of trees. I remember when Dad planted, now I don't know how many there were, but there were a lot of pine trees between the Jacobstown house and the corral. And then he planted from the driveway, or just beyond the driveway, down to the pond with willow trees.
Wow.
And all with a post hole digger,
Mhm.
one at a time.
Wow.
Was that after he set the field on fire?
I don't remember that fire that everybody talks about. I don't remember that fire. Maybe it was, I don't know. Must have been,
Yeah. So Daniel, what
yeah.
were you gonna say about the windows? You were circling back to the windows.
Oh, yeah. We're done talking about windows. We're good.
Sorry.
What?
All right.
I'll show you. Do you guys want to see some goofy pictures of us attempting all of this nonsense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see the slideshow.
Well, I won't show. I haven't to end really. Can you see my screen okay?
It's
Yeah.
coming.
You can see it's an empty screen. Oh,
There
yeah.
it is.
You see it? Okay, all right. So this is, this is the bundles of trees.
My.
And I know it doesn't look like a whole lot, but
it's like 100 or 200 per
right,
bundle.
right.
That looks like a
Wow.
John Deere 50 back there on the corner.
1943 Model B.
Model B before the 50.
Yeah. We're trying to get that restored. Let's see here. So we ended up, renting this huge tractor because we thought that Dennis's tractor would pull it. Then ended up figuring out that his would pull it, but it took us, an hour and a half to get that figured out. So there were a lot of stops and starts. I don't think this video is going to be very good, but there we are, sitting, and then we've got our boxes filled with trees, and then the slurry. Turn this volume down so it doesn't blow over his ears out. Maybe the video will start.
So do you have to? Oh my God. You have to.
Maria was the camera
Yeah,
operator.
sorry, Maria's the camera operator. Go ahead, Holly, sorry, what
You
were you
have to
saying?
water these trees now?
Mother
All
nature.
these trees?
Yeah, Mother Nature, that's,
I mean, even from this point, even as new babies in the ground, you don't have to water them?
should.
There's no way to really logistically water that amount of trees, so you're just counting on the spring rains to get them established, and you gotta mow for a couple of years to keep the weeds and competition at bay, and just hope that you get 80% survival rate.
That's great.
So
That's awesome.
Quite a task. So you're from that one picture, you're all the way to the road there? You've taken over that whole field,
Yes,
taken it back? I
Take it
mean,
back.
yeah, like that one,
yeah,
the one.
yeah, all of the land, yeah, this one, all
Right,
of the land in front of us that we own is now tilled, either with prairie grass, which hopefully will come up, or trees, so.
cool.
So anyway, yeah, that was our, that was that. So we are gonna water the pines by hand somehow. Because they're the border, and more easily accessible, but yeah, it's an adventure. You know, we had an opportunity to hire somebody to do it. And at the time, we thought that was crazy money and we would do it ourselves, and definitely second guessed ourselves on that decision many times. No, we're cursing each other, and no.
We got along the whole time.
I'll bet.
Nothing like sweating and putting in thousands of trees to bring a couple together.
Let's just say every other tree was a little crooked, so one of us, we're not sure who, it was all good. It was fun.
It's quite a task and quite an accomplishment. My goodness.
But geotropism will
imagine
take care of that.
What?
I said geotropism will take care of that.
But what is geotropism?
Geotropism is the nature of a tree to grow against gravity, right? So if you have a tree that's on a riverbank and the riverbank is eroding and the tree's gradually falling over, the tree will stand up and grow vertically away from the ground. It's geotropism.
Well, that's good. We're gonna need that.
Yeah, we're
'cause-
gonna need a lot of that.
Why trees on a mountainside grow straight up instead of straight out from the mountain.
Right.
Few of my first 100 were a little.
She did awesome. She did better than I did, but
Oh, really?
I'm gonna get one more beer and then I'll need some human tropism.
Melody, you probably said something at the beginning. I wasn't here, but how you two doing? How's Core? How are the kids? How's life?
We're doing really well.
Are you over on the East Coast yet? Are you at the beach?
What was your question, Holly?
Are you at the beach?
We went and we came back.
You
That's the
went?
thing about it being so close. I was saying earlier that it was about 55 there today, but with the wind howling, it was really just so cold.
It was cold
We're actually
today.
back at our house in Longwood, and temperature's only 5 degrees warmer, but without the wind, it's just a beautiful evening.
Right.
55 with 40 mile-an-hour wind is cold. Now, I have the luxury of the fact that I am not the dog walker. Melody is the dog walker. And well, that's great at 3 in the afternoon. At 11 p.m. when Chloe needs to go out one more time, 5 o'clock the next morning, it's a little daunting.
Yeah, it was chilly this morning and the wind is still pretty windy. I don't know how windy, but it's whipping around the trees. those eagles are up there hopping around. They've just about nothing of the nest left. Just about completely gone. And yesterday there was only one up there in the tree, and today they're both there. So
Does that mean they've hatched or they're just still guarding
oh, they're
eggs?
flying.
They are.
One at least has flown from the nest to somewhere. And yesterday was not around at all. In fact, you know, you're a little concerned when you don't see it. But today's back up there with its sibling, and I can't tell which one has flown and which one hasn't. But
Is that what they started with, Holly? Just two, or were there 3 eggs?
I
to
really
begin with?
don't know. I can't see inside the nest.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Last year there was only one. This year there are 2. And
Wow.
the parents are still around. I noticed this afternoon, one of the adults was over in what I call the perch tree, which is not the tree with the nest in it. It's probably, I don't know how to gauge a distance, a football field away from the nest tree. And the adult was eating, it looked like a fish. And the youngsters were up here in the nest tree just making a racket, like, you know, bring it over.
That's right. Sure.
And it's like, it's almost as if the parent is saying, you want it? Come and get it.
That's right.
You know? Fly on over here and get it. But they are bringing stuff. You know, they're bringing, I don't know what they're bringing, but I can see them eating out of what's left of the nest. So the parent at some point is bringing them something to eat. Because they're not hunting yet, that's for sure. I'm pretty sure they're not hunting. But it's fun to watch them. But they're practicing, you know, they flap their wings and they lift up off the nest or off the branch, you know, a few feet, and then they land back down, and then they, and this very windy weather is very conducive to, I think, to their flapping and jumping and practicing flying.
Have you gotten some good video? And is it close enough for you to get video?
Not video, but I've taken pictures.
Yeah. Are those on
yeah.
Facebook? I don't.
No, I
Oh.
haven't taken them off my camera yet. They're not on my phone, they're on my camera.
Ah.
So I'd have to get them onto the computer and then figure out how to go from there. I've just been sort of trying to, yeah, I haven't been great about taking pictures. A lot of times I'll be sitting here and I'll look out and they'll do something and I'll grab my camera and go out there. And of course, they're just sitting there not doing anything. So, you know, it's.
Yep, they know.
Okay. It's fun to see them. It's fun to see them. They look bigger than the parents right now. That's how big they are.
Wow.
You all remember Dick and, oh, go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do you remember Dick and Celeste Green, dad's friend, obviously from Ecuador? And so Dick celebrated his 90th birthday last week.
Wow.
Very good.
Yeah, and I think Sunday he had a big birthday Zoom with probably 15, I don't know, 18 people, many of whom had never seen each other, because I guess he had a lot of half siblings. So there's all these branches of his family. So it was great to get to see his family, and he showed pictures and described different parts of his life, and he talked a little bit about their time in Ecuador, and I was just, of course, I couldn't help but just be kicking myself thinking, gosh, I can't believe that Dad wasn't alive for one of these. You know, how great would it have been to have done a slideshow and have Dad just talk about about all these different stages of his life and your lives in Ecuador and other places. And oh, I know you can't live with regret, but I just, you know, I was also remembering Dad's 90th, which was a wonderful time that we all got to
It really
do.
was.
It was a good, great time, but I just couldn't believe that we couldn't have him for one Zoom, you know, or one thing where everybody got to see each other at the same time. And we had New Jersey for some of us, and that was great. But it was nice to see Dick Green at 90. I mean, I couldn't believe he looks like he's 80. For
Yeah,
Dad
he
with all
doesn't-
his
he doesn't
football.
look 90.
No.
I didn't see him in New Jersey, but I saw pictures of him when, you know, when you guys were in, when he came to see you guys in New Jersey.
Yeah, so young. Dad was really crippled. I always thought it was because of his football and his athleticism kind of banged up his body a lot. I don't know if that's accurate, but
I think that hip did him in.
yeah,
Don't you? I mean, I think the
Too
pain
bad.
that he went through with that hip was just debilitating for activity, you know.
right.
I feel my knees going, and I'm like, God, if they feel weird now, what are they gonna feel like in 5 years if I'm still around? You know, I go, yeah, you know.
Good to get
And
right.
why?
Yeah, if Dad had gotten his other hip replaced when he got his first hip replaced, you know, he could have
Right.
had possibly much better. But yeah, hindsight, I guess. But getting it done early, huh?
Around.
He did. It's crazy to think that he used to walk from his house on Barker Street down to our old house on Barker Street and come and
Right.
hold Maria for hours on his lap because he couldn't get up and move with her, but he could hold her there while I went to the gym or something. But anyway, it was nice to see. It was nice to see Dick, and Dick spoke very, very movingly about Dad and how much he meant to him in his life in Ecuador, and having
Right.
Dad as sort of his mentor. So that was really nice, and so many adventures you all had there.
Yeah, they did. That I noticed in the last Colgate, whatever they call that,
Alumni magazine
the
thing.
quarterly magazine, there was nothing for 1949.
This last one?
Nothing, not a thing. And I thought, oh, Dad wouldn't have let that happen.
Oh, because it was the time before his friend Tom took it over, his column.
Well, his name is there, Tom's name is there, but there were he made no entries.
Oh, boy.
I'm still getting it. You get it, Matt, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Check that.
I got it because I called and asked for it. So I'm still getting it, even
Yeah.
though,
Yeah, too. And did I
so
not look?
that's where I look.
Hmm.
I look at Matt's year and I look at Dad's year.
I'll have to call Tom. I wonder if his health, because he did do a column and there was tons of stuff that he had gotten. So it would be surprising that there was nothing there. I wonder if something happened to him. I'll have to give him a call.
Maybe just nobody contributed, and there must not be very many of them left.
No, you're right. There's
You know, I mean,
probably 25, 22.
Dad was like pulling teeth to get people to contribute information, right?
That's right. Uh-huh.
I'm surprised there's 22. I
Yeah.
didn't think
too.
I didn't think there were that many.
And I could be wrong. I mean, I thought that was my last count, but probably you're right by now.
No, you're probably right, Bronwyn.
Well, it could be less.
Speaking of old friends, have you heard from Barbara?
Yeah, well, we've been chatting. I called her on Dad's birthday and we talked over Christmas, and I called her for her birthday, which was I guess that was her birthday and then Dad's birthday. So yeah, she's doing okay. her sibling, one of her daughters came and added an addition to Barbara's house. So Barbara now lives in the addition, and her daughter and son-in-law are living in her part of the house. But I think she's still just crippled by, her words, depression, and the accident that she had when she fell. She's still dealing with pain from that, and she can't talk about Dad really without choking up. I mean, she's really just seems totally in a hole of grief that she misses him and misses that you know, they weren't really getting along at the end there too much, and didn't get to spend as much time as she wished they had. And
Right.
I have offered to go over there and say hi to her outside. I've said she, you know, come here when COVID gets a little bit more settled, and she said she couldn't face coming here for a long time. So, but I'm trying to stay in touch with her because I know she's.
Well, that's
I'm glad
great.
that's
I
nice that you
appreciate
do
that.
that.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you all who asked about her. So, go ahead, Holly.
When is her birthday?
I think it was January, I think, soon after Christmas.
Uh-huh.
But I have been thinking about her
How
and
old,
meaning to
how
call
old is she? Is she a little bit younger than Dad?
her. I think so. What would you say, 86-ish?
Mhm.
So I don't think she's having a great time with COVID and with her health issues, and I don't think it's going great for her. So.
It's not fun, especially if you have pain. It's not fun.
No. Does anybody know who Michael was referring to, saying he was sitting vigil?
I didn't ask.
Well, I just saw it right before logging on. I was wondering if
just-
it's his dad.
Well, and he didn't say. I said I was thinking about him, and you know, I didn't even know exactly what that meant.
Neither did I.
I didn't know that.
Could be related to Good Friday and Easter weekend.
I thought it was a vigil, but I looked it up, and a vigil is like sitting with someone as they're dying, basically.
Right.
Well, sometimes they'll do that. They'll have an Easter vigil on Good Friday evening.
Ah,
And
Right.
some churches will do sort of almost a prayer,
right,
Oh.
right.
not a service, but just sort of a constant.
I would have thought if it was Uncle Jiggs, he might have said that Uncle Jiggs was having a hard time.
Didn't he
Yeah, I
say
would think
so
so.
the last time he was on?
Didn't he what, Dana?
Didn't he say so, that he wasn't doing that great the last time he was on?
He mentioned his dementia.
I thought it was mostly the dementia that was the issue. When he was referring to that, I could be wrong. He may have health stuff too. Other health things.
I spoke with Morgan Ralph. We phone tagged today. We didn't actually get to speak, but we've been texting. She says she's slammed, which I imagine they must be going just flat out to get ready for Easter. Have you?
Right.
She doing okay, Dana Joseph? She's getting through it.
I think so.
They
You
have
know,
a
I think that-
store, right? They have a actual storefront. So tomorrow they'll be slammed.
Mhm.
And Bo is better, she said. I didn't get,
That's good.
Mhm.
that's scary.
We ordered
Yeah.
a bunch of Easter goodies from her, and she thought they would be here in 2 days, and they took 5 days to get here, and she was beside herself. I'm so proud of everything being fresh.
Right.
Eat it as soon as it gets there. And it was 5 days to get here, and she was just like horrified. And so we've been working on it, you know, noshing away at it, and it's great. You know, it's great stuff.
15 seconds in the microwave warms the peanut butter cookies up really well.
Ooh,
Oh, you ordered cookies. Wow.
Cookies,
Yeah.
scones, chocolate. Yeah,
Oh
we
my
were bad.
goodness.
Yeah, we were bad.
Dan did.
You mean you didn't save them for Easter baskets?
Oh, shucks.
We saved the chocolates, but the cookies and the scones, they, by the time they get here, you almost need to eat them immediately.
Right.
That's
So
great.
they're in the fridge.
How do they send them? UPS?
UPS brought it to the door.
Right.
Post office brought it to the door, but I think it came some other way to the local post office, and then the post
No,
office
it was,
brought it.
this package was in one of the the post office white boxes, the
Right. Right.
first class mailboxes. And I think we paid for 2-day delivery on it and it took 5.
Hmm.
Well, we're excited. We'll be getting a box anytime soon, and
Oh, good.
I'm hoping to spread the joy. So I got some stuff for Kathy and Dennis for Easter. So, because
Oh,
they
good stuff.
love dark chocolate, and those dark chocolate bunnies, they looked amazing. So very excited.
Yeah, that's great. I'm not ordering. Because I will eat what I order. I don't
Well,
want-
that's what we do. I mean, Morgan, we don't order it to give it away. We order to eat it.
You can afford to.
Not
Okay.
really.
What, are you kidding? You haven't seen this gut.
Oh my
But
God.
Morgan caught our order and took it upon herself. I mean, instead of going through the normal company routine,
Right.
extracted it and, put a handwritten note in it, going along with it and stuff. Yeah, it was really nice. Special touch.
Awesome.
Well, we got some for Valentine's Day, right?
Uh-huh.
But we held off on Easter. We're trying to watch. So,
It's too painful. It's,
Well, each stroke is 3 calories, right?
There you
at
go.
least,
uh,
but still.
Well,
That's what I
Eddie,
told Dan today, we need to be careful.
I agree. It's hard. Eddie sends us endless goodies, and I am always telling him and joking like, Eddie, I gotta do an extra mile on the treadmill now, but and I don't have the heart to be like, please don't send us any more stuff. He sent us a big box of homemade cookies from Ocean City, New Jersey, a place that he and his sister discovered. And I mean, the cookies are that big. He said, he joked 1 bite per serving, and it is literally, and they're all different kinds, s'mores and oatmeal with like cream cheese filling, and oh my gosh. So I'm afraid that I have eaten several of those, but I'm telling myself that planting trees allowed me to.
There you go. There you go. Well,
I think that excuse right now.
these cookies from Aurora, we literally had to cut them in half. And each of us ate a half a cookie. It's a meal. It's a full meal.
I don't know. I'd probably be able to eat the whole.
Me too. Me too.
Ah,
Oh, look at that doggy. Says me. Do I get food?
Hi. Hi.
Oh, 2 of
Two
us.
puppies.
2 of us. Oh, yeah,
Puppies.
that's mine. That's got
Mommy
my
has
name on it.
treats.
oh my goodness.
Oh.
Pick me, Ma.
Me. Oh.
Pizza crust.
Oh, there you go. The best.
Who's who there?
Yep. What are their names again? Matthew, Melody?
This is Chloe.
Chloe
This is Fenrir.
and Fenrir.
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 Yep.
Chloe and Fenrir. They're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
Oh.
She's a good girl.
Hmm.
I've been watching this on Instagram. Dodo, what's it? Vito, the dodo pup. who's being trained for as a guiding dog. And they're doing the whole thing systematically on Instagram.
Yeah, from a puppy.
So it's so fun to watch.
Yep.
He started it 12 weeks, and this woman who's raising him has raised other guiding dogs.
Mhm.
And so it's really fun to see how she does it.
His name is Dodo.
Really good. Finn's a master now. Chloe
Well,
is.
Dodo it's a project between the Dodo. Do you know the Dodo?
No.
Well, it's all animal stuff,
Okay.
and it's on YouTube. And this particular and so is, you can see his stuff on YouTube too, but it is for the guiding dogs.
Uh-huh. Oh.
And
that's
he
the
is
hardest. Those
part
dogs-
lab
those dogs
and
are
part
just-
golden,
Yeah.
Vito.
Those dogs are just unbelievable.
I know they are.
Just,
And a lot of them don't make the grade, but
no, but if they
you know,
don't
to
make the
do
grade,
the actual
they're
work.
dogs just because they were chosen to be that. Because even if they didn't make it that far, they're just amazing dogs.
Oh, they are amazing dogs. They're just totally amazing, but some of them just aren't suited for the work
Nope, nope,
in the final analysis. They just don't quite make the grade.
right.
But they're wonderful dogs, no matter what. So it'll be interesting to see how he turns out.
Chloe could never do that. She loves kids too much. That's her downfall. She sees a kid and it's all bets are off. And we're still working with her on that piece of it because she just loves children. She just something happy. Yes, I know.
Yeah, there you go. Sure do, Mom.
Do you agree? Yeah. It's really fun watching Vito. Following Vito on Instagram.
Sarah, you still there?
I am.
Yeah. I ask my students that about maybe 28 times a day.
I'm
Sarah,
at
have
the
you
front
seen
running the
any-
heat.
Sarah, have you seen any cherry blossoms?
Yeah, today, as a matter of fact, I'm out at Leslie's parked in her driveway. Because I needed to be here and I forgot completely about the fact that the cherry trees were in bloom. And got up on the freeway up on 395 and realized immediately when it had ground to a halt at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it was either an accident or it was the cherry trees.
Naturally.
And it was the cherry trees. So I got off at up by the Capitol, which happened to coincide with that horrible thing today that happened with somebody ramming their car and killing
Yeah.
one of the officers. So I was traveling down Independence when that took place. And
Great.
there were lots of people out trying to enjoy the trees right around the basin. And I was only trying to get over to the alternate road that travels around the Jefferson to get on
Right.
GW Parkway. And that alone took a good 45, 50 minutes instead of staying on 395. So yeah, I saw a lot of them today.
Apparently.
They are, for the most part, the best are, you can see some of the half of the blooms are, because it was so cold and windy today and yesterday was rain, have been
Right.
shaken out. It's still glorious, but it's definitely, last Sunday, I think I think it came in a week early. They said it was going to be tomorrow, Sunday, but we had such warm temperatures this week that they popped early.
Right.
And they are glorious. I just completely forgot about it until I was in the middle of a mess. So.
Well, guys, we're gonna head off. Good to see everyone. Dana, good luck. Joe, good luck tomorrow.
Thanks,
Thank
Matt.
you.
Hey, Matt, good to see you. Why don't you
Stay-
give me a call, Matthew, at the beginning of the week if you like? I have something to discuss with you.
Okay, will do.
Okay? Good
Happy
to see you,
Easter, everyone.
Melody. Happy
Happy
Easter, guys.
Easter.
Don't eat too much chocolate.
Happy Easter.
Oh, why not?
Yeah,
No
right.
promises.
Because I'll do that for you, Melody. Why not?
Oh,
Well,
All right, folks, we'll cut out and get our dinner.
Well,
Very
good
good.
luck. Good luck. Send us a picture.
All right, we'll try to,
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
We'll
put the
try to do
GoPro on
that.
the bow.
Try to stay right side up.
yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Right. Stay out of the
The
deep
water-
waves.
The water's a little warmer down here.
Yeah, fortunately,
Yeah.
it's warmed up.
yeah.
All right. Well, lots of
All
love,
right.
everybody.
Same to
Yeah.
you, Brahman. Have a good Easter,
Happy
everybody.
Easter, guys.
See ya.
Happy
Thanks
Easter.
a lot.
Bye.
Okay.
Love
Adios,
you.
amigos.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
So